I gotta hand it to the new airbrush that I'm using. Sprays really, really well. Excellent for that matter. So right now we're in the segment of doing the first step, the attaching the ball. So this is the first step of the Tamiya USS Enterprise build. Quite long, really. So I'm gonna get the screws here because this one is needed. Sorry, slide it in. And then screw. I'll put some glue first, just for good measure. This one goes outside, while the other one goes inside the head part. It's effective. Now what you're gonna notice when you turn this upside down, the hull needs some sanding. First of all, there are seams due to the attachment of both two parts, and then there's this line, the ejection mark, pin ejector. So you're gonna have to smooth this out and sand it in. The length of this from bow to stern, or stern to bow, is about more or less around 3 feet and 1 inch. 3.1. 3.1. You can see that there is a gap. This is the bow part that I just attached, and well, some modelers will use the putty. Others will use stretch sprue. So what they do, I don't know if you can see this. You see, it's almost as thin as the gap itself. So this is one way, as an alternative, to fill in that gap. What you're gonna do is put some glue first, and then put the stretch sprue in, have it melt between the gaps. Yeah, like that, like so. Now is slowly filling the gap. So for good measure, I'll be using the perfect plastic putty as another way to fill in the gap. Although I used the stretch sprue already, but like I said, just for a good measure, I'll be using this. clean it up afterwards.
Years later.
So after polishing, well, sanding, I mean, after sanding is the polishing compound or rubbing compound. I'm gonna put little bits and pieces of here and then polish it, and then ready for priming. This is going to be one unconventional painting method. I start off with the black. You notice I applied already the hull red. That's primer. It's not already the paint yet. And then a gray primer as well. So I'm gonna be putting a little bit of post shading with NATO black, just to have some highlights, not too black. So I chose NATO black. So I've done my post shading. I'm gonna do a little bit of paint over with the usual XF 66 plus a mixture of white, 3 versus 1, 3 to 1 ratio. So along the course while I'm painting, I discovered that airbrush needs to be replaced already. It's not really doing a very good performance, and what I have here is an alternative which I bought a few years back. This is my alternative, Mr. Hobby Procon boy FWA. I'm gonna try to use this. I think my old one conked out. It's not really painting well. I'm going to gloss coat the initial paint. This is so for me to be able to protect the first paint over the model. So I'm now gonna mask the other side because I'm going to paint the bottom half with the hull red, as prescribed by the Tamiya instruction book manual. I mean, 2-part red, 1 part brown, I think. Remember the black that I initially masked on? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how perfect the line is. Wow, look at the black. I gotta hand it to the new airbrush that I'm using. Sprays really, really well. Excellent for that matter. Yeah, airbrush from Mr. Hobby. You gotta love that. So now I'm gonna coat this with the gloss varnish to protect the paint. And then the final step will be the black stripe, and that's it for the day. So I had them line up, and I put some tags on it just so as not to confuse myself when I'm gluing it, because at times there will be mistakes, and I want to avoid it by tagging them according to the sprue number. So next stop will be priming, and then the actual paints. So it's been primed. I'm gonna mix some red and brown for the bottom color, and then that painting.
Scale modeling is fun. Copyright 2020 at Ivan Theterable. I am not an expert, but I love creating dioramas. See you on my next build.